Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to look at the September test 2025. So we are going to start on the first part, which is our section A, and our section A is compulsory. So on the multiple choice section, the first question that we have is an advantage of using own funds as a source of funding for a business is. So our own funds obviously constitute of capital. And obviously there is no interest that is attached to that or to that funding. So the correct response that we have is B. Then on number 2, dash is a detailed description of all activities that needs to be completed to execute a project successfully. So you see that the correct answer is project planning. And we know that project planning, it is a phase in project management in which you determine the actual steps to complete a project. So it is the process of defining the goals, timeline, tasks, resources, and strategy for executing a project. So basically, we are saying it outlines what needs to be done. That is a project. That is project planning. Then we go to number 3. An example of a written presentation is information in the form of course, we've got data projector, flip charts, pie charts, questionnaires. And the correct response is a data projector. Remember, data projector basically it's a piece of electronic equipment that is used to show information from a computer screen on a large screen. So basically, it comes as written presentation. So it shows words or images on a screen. So that is the most appropriate according to the answers that we have. The number 4. A dash is a visual presentation of a set of cells figure shown as a series of rectangles. On the response part, we've got bar graphs, diagrams, line graphs, table. So you'd see that the correct one that we have is a bar graph, which is A. On number 5, a document containing information organized in a narrative, a graphic, or tabular form. We have got analysis, business plan, business report, information. So the correct response is a business report, which we have on C. So going to the next part, which is now 1.2. Complete the following statement by using the words in the list below. So this is the list that we have. Then first part is dash is the total amount of money that assets invested in a business by the owner that comes from all sources. So I say is the total amount of money and assets invested in a business by the owner that comes from all sources. So you see that this is equity capital, which we are having here. So this is our 1.2.1. Then 1.2.2, financing provided by wealthy entrepreneurs to start up particular small businesses in return for a share in the business is known as it is angel funding, which we have on this part, which is 1.2.2. Then 1.2.3, all shareholders receive a portion of the profits called A. Obviously, they come as rewards and they are dividends. Rewards of owning the company. So this is what we have on 1.2.3. 1.2.4. A dash communication relates to speaking or an oral presentation. This is verbal. 1.2.4, we have got verbal, which we have on this part. So 1.2.4. Then 1.2.5, generally used to advertise, to emphasize, or to remind the audience. So this is, according to what we have, is a poster, which we have on this part. So this is 1.2.5. So basically, this is what we have on section A, and we take note that our section A, we have a total of 20 marks. So with that, I'll move on to the next section, which is going to be our section B. For section B, we are going to start on question 2, which is on entrepreneurial qualities. So the question reads, I read the scenario below and answer the question that follows. We are given a scenario of Zara florist, that is ZF. So you need to go through the scenario given, and then beneath that, the first question reads, identify the entrepreneurial quality displayed by Zara. Motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario above. So the entrepreneurial quality that we have, according to the scenario, is a high degree of commitment. High degree of commitment, and of course, in terms of motivation, you are quoting the sentence whereby you're saying, "Hey, high degree of commitment enabled here to successfully establish for your business on the market." So that is where you are supposed to quote. So according to our answer section, this is what we have, whereby we are saying um, high degree of commitment, and we are seeing that the motivation reads here, high degree of commitment enabled here to successfully establish a business on the market. Then we go to the next part of our question, which is now question 2.1.2, whereby it is state any three other entrepreneurial qualities. We have to state any three other entrepreneurial qualities, whereby we refer back again to see what are other entrepreneurial qualities. But of course, you can include passion and ambition. Passion and ambition can be part of that. Risk taking, perseverance also can be a part of entrepreneurial qualities. So these are the other entrepreneurial qualities whereby we have big dreamers with a clear vision, confidence in one's ability to succeed, a desire for responsibility, willpower to overcome obstacles, and of course, we've got other entrepreneurial qualities that we can also include. So moving on to the next question. Next question reads, explain the following key success factors. Explain the following key success factors. And we know that our key success factors, they provide a strategic framework for achieving competitive advantage in long-term growth. So these are some of the key success factors whereby we got profitability and sustainability. So profitability basically includes the making money of the business, how the business makes money and how it manages that money. So that is a profitability. So we go to the explanation that we have, whereby it reads that the business makes money. The business manages money in such a way that sound return on investment can be guaranteed to investors. So we have these as explanations of profitability. And then, of course, moving on to the next one, which is in terms of sustainability, the business can continue to exist despite all the challenges. So these are the explanations of sustainability. So with that, we move on to the next question. The next question reads, suggest strategies that businesses can use to remain profitable and sustainable. So what are the strategies that can be employed to remain profitable and sustainable? So you see that the strategies can include maintaining a solid customer base, make sure that the customer base is strong, and also behaving ethically and being socially responsible are some of the strategies that can be employed on 2.3. Among the strategies, we've got sound managing finances, we've got effective management of scarce resources and employees, maintaining a solid customer base, and all other strategies that are also correct that we can also include. So basically, that's what we have on 2.3. So moving on to our question 3.1, elaborate the meaning of action plan, whereby an action plan is basically a checklist of tasks and resources are needed to complete a project or achieve a goal. So basically, it comes as a document that lists the action steps needed to achieve project goals and objectives. So we have got a brief description that we have according to this video of what is an action plan. So an action plan is a record of activities showing how those activities will be organized to achieve the goals set out in the business plan. It is a planning and monitoring tool that specifies what task must be done by whom and when and with what resources in order to achieve specific goals. You've got another alternative explanation in terms of an action plan. So moving on to the next part, 3.2. I read the scenario below and answer the question that follow. You are given a scenario of Sodom Business Enterprises, which is ZVE. So you need to go through the scenario before answering the question. So the first question reads, identify the importance of an action plan from the scenario above. So you need to refer back to the scenario and try to come up with the importance of an action plan. So according to the scenario, you see that if we come here, it is that uh, an action plan that will make a business successful. So obviously, an action plan will make the business successful, and also she also scheduled activities that needed to be completed first. That is according to the action plan. So the scheduling of activities is made easier by an action plan. So also an action plan will act as a monitoring tool that makes it possible to check the progress. So those are some of the uh, uh, importances of an action plan. So we've got a list of them in our section whereby we are saying uh, in terms of the scenario that we are given that as we do not realize that an action plan will act as a monitoring tool that makes it possible to check the progress. And also an action plan will also help with the business to reflect on what has happened before and what actions have to be what actions have not helped. So that is the second part. So on 3.2.2, it reads explain other importances of an action plan. So we've got a list of other importances of an action plan that we have. It enables projects to uh, to be achieved within the specific time, and also it helps the person responsible for achieving certain goals to be organized. It is a control measure against which standards and performance can be measured. It prioritizes activities according to importance. So these are some of the other importances of an action plan that we can come up with. So I move on to the next part of our question, which reads, discuss the advantages of Gantt charts. And we know that a Gantt chart it illustrates a project schedule. So basically, we are saying it is used in project management. So what are the advantages of a Gantt chart? We have those advantages as listed here, as we are saying. Easy to prepare and understand. Events are shown in a chronological order, and the time needed for an activity is shown visually. Managers and team members can see which activities run concurrently. So we have got other points that are also correct. And moving on to the next part, which is 3.4, suggest reasons why businesses need funding. So what are the reasons that businesses need funding? So we have the reasons as listed, as we are saying, to cover up the startup costs, including the premises or machinery or raw materials, run the business and have enough money to pay employees or suppliers of raw materials, pay for cost of input such as wages, telephone, and other expenses. These are some of the reasons why businesses need funding. And this marks the end of our question 3. We're moving on to the next question, which is going to be our question 4. We're moving on to our question 4. So our question 4 is on business ventures, that is presentation of business information in starting a business. So 4.1, read the statement below and answer the question that follows. So we're given a statement of JETRO partners, which is JP, which you need to read before you answer the question. So 4.1.1, identify the sources of funding from the scenario, motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. So according to the scenario, if you come in on this sentence, it reads that they approach a bank to borrow money, which represents a bank loan. So we have a bank loan on that part. Then if you go to the next sentence, they also negotiated with their suppliers to buy goods and pay at a later stage, which represents a trade credit. So these are the sources of funding that we have. So we are supposed to present it in this form. So it means we are going, you can say bank loan on the first part, and then on motivation, you quote the sentence of they approach the bank to borrow money, and then you go to trade credit, you also quote the sentence that we have there. So basically, in this form is how you can come up with your response to that. Then move on to the next question, which reads, Explain the following factors that must be considered before startup of a business. We've got environmental changes, customer service. So this is what we have in terms of environmental changes, as we are saying. Continue to network and research to avoid changes in the business environment, which may upset the business operations, and also consider the risk and success matter. So we have got other point that we have, and then under customer service, make an effort to satisfy the needs of customers. Change the action plan accordingly to accommodate the needs of customers. Establish a good relationship with customers. So this is what we have on 4.2.2. Then move on to the next question, which is now 4.3. Explain the difference between verbal and non-verbal communication. And of course, verbal communication is communication by the word of mouth, whereby non-verbal is communication that does not involve the word of mouth. So we have the difference is articulated in our answer section. So we have a table whereby other verbal are saying exchange information using oral presentation or spoken, whereby non-verbal communicate by means of printed media. And then other verbal again, information can be heard, whereby other non-verbal communication can be read. We have another difference that we have between the two. Then on the next question, we have to come up with factors to consider when preparing a presentation. So these are the factors that has to be taken into consideration when preparing the presentation. You know your audience, use simple language, clear purpose or objective of presentation, include visual aids, proofread the report to ensure it is error-free. So we have got other points that we can also include. So this marks the end of our question 4, and of course, we'll move on to the next question, which is going to be our question 5. So question 5 is on essay part, whereby it is on entrepreneurial qualities and presentation. So we are given a scenario that you are given before the requirements of the essay. So you have to write an essay in which you include the following aspects: outline 6 types of visual aids, discuss factors that must be considered when composing a flyer, explain the steps that must be followed when writing a report, and then on the additional part, you have to recommend ways in which a Gordon should respond to questions in a non-aggressive and professional manner. So these are the questions that we have. So of course, this is an essay. We are supposed to start with our introduction, and this is a typical introduction that you can come up with within the context of this question in particular, whereby it reads, the business managers needs to present information about their business to stakeholders. Visual aids are combined pictures, sound that makes that will enhance the quality of presentation. So basically, remember, there are many ways that you can come up to introduction. You can come up with introduction by defining any key term that you see in the question, or you can show an appreciation in terms of any key term that you have again in the question. For example, in this case, we have got a visual aids. So the importance of visual aids is the one that we are showing in the introduction. So this is a typical introduction that we have. So going on to the main part now. On the main part, that's where we are going to outline 6 types of visual aids. So you can start with outlining 6 types of visual aids. Of course, and these are the types that we have, whereby we have got data projector or PowerPoint, overhead projector, interactive whiteboards or smart boards, handouts or flyers or boxes. So typically this is what we have. Then on the next part, discuss factors that must be considered when composing a flyer. So what are the factors to consider when composing a flyer? So these are the factors that we have to take into consideration. Write a title that will attract the reader's attention. Use graphics to attract attention. Focus on the benefits of the product or services. Identify points clearly. Keep it simple with white space. So this is what we have in terms of factors when composing a flyer. So these are other factors whereby you do not use two main words. Let someone proofread the contents. Use bright paper and black text. So some of the points that we have. So we move on to the next part. This on 5.4. whereby it reads, explain the steps that must be followed when writing a report. What are the steps that must be followed when writing a report? So you're going to notice that these are the steps that we have when writing a report. Analyze the problem, prepare a written problem statement to clarify the task, and also anticipate the audience and issues. It could be distributed to people whom it was not intended. So these are the points that we have on steps in the reporting, in the report writing. Then on the next part, that is the additional part now, you have to recommend ways in which Gordon should respond to questions in a non-aggressive and professional manner. So what are the ways in which Gordon should respond to questions in a non-aggressive and professional manner? So these are the points that we have. Gordon must stand up throughout the feedback session, be polite, confident, cautious, or humorous, listen and then respond. So these are the ways to respond to questions. Continuation of the ways on this part. And obviously, now as an essay question, this is a typical conclusion that we can come up according to our essay. So moving on to our question 6, that is on transforming a business plan into an action plan and starting a business. So you are given information that you have that you need to go through before you go to the requirements of the essay. So it reads, keep this scenario in mind and write an essay in which you include the following: outline the purpose of a business plan, explain the project planning steps, discuss the importance of timelines project planning, advise businesses on how to construct a Gantt chart. So these are the points that we have, and of course, this is going to be our additional part. And the other 3 points involves our main part. And of course, this is an essay. We are supposed to start with our introduction. So this is a typical introduction that we have, whereby it is describing project planning. So project planning steps enable businesses to monitor the implementation of the project, and also timelines enable business to put all teams work in one place and improve accountability. So this is what we have in terms of the introduction. And on the next part, it requires us now to go to the main part whereby we outline 6 types of visual. On the main part, first part is outline the purpose of a business plan. So we outline the purpose of a business plan, whereby this is the purpose of a business plan. Offers direction of a proposed business, and also a written document which gives a comprehensive overview of a proposed business. So these are the purposes that we have of a business plan. So that we go to the next part whereby we explain the project planning steps. What are the project planning steps, and to explain those steps. So this are the steps define the scope of the plan to be done, identify project supporters, break the project down into activities, set time frames, and determine how long each activity takes. Set milestone targets. For example, what are main completion point? What are the main completion point? So these are the points on project planning steps. We have got a continuation on project planning steps on communicated review project progress, keep records of all activities. So that is what we have on that part. And we go to the next part whereby we have to discuss the importance of timelines in project planning. What are the importances of timelines in project planning? So these are the importances of timelines in project planning. They help the managers to project dates in advance, assist in determining the sequence or order in which activities tasks must be completed, keep information in order that it has to be in. So these are the importance of timelines. Then on the additional part, you have to advise business on how to construct a Gantt chart. You have to advise businesses on how to construct a Gantt chart. Remember, a Gantt chart illustrates a project schedule. So it is used in project management. So in terms of advising business on how to construct a Gantt chart, we also have those points as articulated in our other section. So you have to write down all the activities that must be carried out to complete a project and decide how much time you need for each activity. Determine which activities need to be completed before another activity can be started and which activities can be carried out simultaneously. So these are the points that we have. And of course, this is a typical conclusion that you can come up with according to our essay.